one. We're live. Should we just go ahead and share this?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
All right, let's.
I doubt anybody's going to watch in the first 30 seconds.
You never know. We got those New
There we
Jersey
go.
people. Do you already see it on there?
Yeah. Hold on.
My service is shittier than yours. Wait.
Or you can go to my page. I just shared it, so you can share it from my page too.
Yeah, maybe I should do that or something. Oh, I'm glad we're starting a little earlier. That way. Oh, there we go. Shared a live video. So, share now. Let's here. Let's. All right, let's just let's get into this. Hold on. All right, got my creepy music, got our levels, got my guest. All right, so this is the Black Aaron podcast, Black Aaron broadcast, June 14th, 2018. We're in beautiful Los Angeles, California, Cal State Dominguez Hills. I'm here with my first guest, and I have a wonderful introduction for you. This is my first guest is a hipster god, veteran barista, coffee snob, regularly attends latte pouring competitions, really into synth modules, someone sick of his own self-proclaimed hipster bullshit, share of dank existential dog memes, and has the most uniquely abstract sense of humor I've ever encountered, but is truly one of the most kind and warm-hearted people I've ever met. Please welcome to my show my friend and colleague here at Cal State Dominguez Hills in LA, the distinguished gentleman with a distractingly impressive lumberjack beard, Mr. Barry Sutton.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. How do you like that?
That was solid. Solid.
I had to come through hard with those bars, bro.
Got two people that already say exactly what you said is true. So.
Any of your friends that I haven't met that are watching this and heard that intro, I already know they're gonna like that because oh man, I can confirm all this, and we got the feed copying. Yeah, okay. So before we begin, Barry, I have a present for you as my first guest on the podcast. You're gonna love this too. So.
Damn. Okay.
There you go. So check that out, Barry. Look at that awesome wrapping job. Look at that. We got newspapers. We got an old little.
Should I be delicate about this?
No, you're good. You're good.
Damn.
Picked that up with the wife last weekend from a garage sale.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, bro. You gotta diversify your briefcase game, my dude.
Back to being Briefcase Barry again.
Yeah, man. Ooh, Briefcase Barry.
Shout out to Jose for that one.
Shout out to Jose Lopez. Hey, shout out to Jose Lopez in our program for these dank ambient lo-fi hip-hop beats that we have on here that are uncopyrighted, so I don't have to worry about this shit getting taken down later. Thank you, Jose. DMA Dad, president of the program.
Ooh, that's sleek.
Yeah, man. Look at that sweet briefcase, bro. That's fine leather grain. It's got a tag in there and shit. So, yeah, man. That is my gift to you, Barry.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
This is great.
I was free 99. I didn't even steal it. They were just like giving me stuff. And I was like, dude, I saw that. I was like, that's Barry right there. That is Barry.
Beautiful.
Yeah, dude. You like that?
No,
you can keep the bag in the sweet newspapers too if you want.
Thanks. I use the bag as a trash bag.
Yes.
And
Dude.
Great though. That's great.
You like that, man?
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good.
Good.
That's good. That's gonna be fun to have some diversity on my briefcase game.
I know you gotta diversify that briefcase game, dog. First, before we start, I did the outfit, man. It is
Thank you.
stunning. You got like the peach cobbler pants, sailboats. Dude, Bill Murray. I feel like I'm in a Wes Anderson movie right now. Dude, Barry is fucking lit, bro. Barry is lit. Barry, we're about to get
This is gonna be good.
we're about to get into this, Barry.
This is gonna be good.
Oh my god. Okay, let me get off that. I got all my little questions. So I'm just gonna set my laptop over here. Hopefully it's not too distracting. Oh, that works.
No, that's perfect.
Okay, we can see you. We can see your beard. All right. So, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. Waking up a little bit, but I'm not a morning person, so there you go.
You're not a morning person.
Who would have guessed?
Yeah, that's probably why you drink so much coffee. You're gonna have a heart attack.
I haven't had any coffee today either, so.
As I sip coffee, are you jealous right now?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, this
Nah,
ain't no
you're good.
Starbucks, bro. This is from the campus, so this is like we're supporting the students here. So to start off, first question: what are your earliest memories you have of listening to music? Earliest, like way back.
My mom used to practice flute all the time. I think that's probably why I don't care for flute too much. My mom was a flute player. She studied music therapy, and which will probably get into one of your later questions. But yeah, she used to practice flute all the time, and it drove me up the wall.
Oh,
But in terms of like actual produced music from a CD or a cassette, the two albums that I really remember was we had a CD of Prokofiev's, I get them switched, but no, I don't only drink decaf, and I am wearing my new shoes. Thank you, Matt.
show those shoes, Barry. I ain't never seen.
Oh,
Oh wait, hold on, the mic's in the way. Those shoes are fucking fire, son. I've never seen you wear. You really came all out stunting for the podcast
I got
today,
these
bro.
literally yesterday. They're great. They're comfy as hell.
Dude, those are like some cause, like, dude, those are like some Basquiat, like, dude.
Basquiat. I'll take that. I'll
Yeah,
take that. I'll
nah,
take that
they
and
need
run
like that
with it.
little
That's
crown
great.
on them. Those are
But-
sick.
But
Go ahead.
To officially answer your question,
Yeah,
was Peter and the Wolf.
Peter and the Wolf.
Which was like my first introduction to classical music, but not in the sense of like Bach or Beethoven,
Mhm.
Mozart. It was storytelling, but instead of having like actual lyrics to the story, you would have each instrument was a voice of a character.
Okay.
So the clarinet represented one character, the bassoon represented another character, so on and so forth.
Okay.
The other album was this. My dad had a bunch of cassettes. Well, both of my parents had cassettes. My grandmother had a huge cassette collection too. But my dad had a Tangerine Dream. There's
Oh, you told me about that group.
This is a '60s German synth rock group,
Jesus.
and they did this. If you've ever seen Tom Cruise's Risky Business,
Yeah. Oh, wait. That's where he's sliding in the socks with
Yes.
the underwear and
do
the
you remember the
shirt.
scene where he's on the train and he's
Barely.
like, and he's like falling in love with one of the women that he's been
Prostitute lady?
Yeah, one of the prostitute ladies he's been working with.
Yeah.
The song playing there is a Tangerine Dream song. A lot of that soundtrack is done by Tangerine Dream, but I obviously as a kid never got to see that movie. My parents were pretty strict on swearing and whatnot. So yeah, Tangerine Dream was one of the first cassettes that I listened to on repeat, and it probably is very heavily the reason that I got into electronic music.
Oh, snap. Dude, that's what's up. But does Tangerine Dream do a lot of electronic, or wasn't it like live?
They're
Like,
I mean, electronic in the sense that they use analog synthesizers.
Oh, what do we got going on here? Sergio.
He wants to rub beards with me.
Oh man, that's not homoerotic or anything. But hey, it's 2018, and we don't want to, Hey, whatever people do, we're gonna let them do it. You can rub beards, and I won't judge you at all, bro.
Can't say I've ever done that before.
It can happen. Anything's possible. So how did you originally get into music? Like, is that a love story? Like, when did you started doing music?
My first experience getting into music probably would have been me telling my mom that if I was to play an instrument, it would be violin.
Mm-hmm.
So she rented a violin.
Mm-hmm.
I opened up the case, got the bow out, did not actually take the violin out of the case, dragged the bow across the strings, and decided that I promptly hated violin.
Oh,
keep practicing.
That was short.
Yeah, that was when I was about 4 or 5 years old.
Wow.
Maybe 6. First official getting into playing music was 4th grade. They had a music program at the elementary school that started in 4th grade. And you could pick your instruments. And that's when I really settled down on wanting to be a bassoon player.
Okay. Bassoon. That is the most. I don't even know if I knew the name bassoon.
Most
I was
people don't.
Guessing different instruments, like brass, whatever. And then when you told me you played a bassoon, I was just like, of course, fucking Barry plays the goddamn bassoon.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
And then and then I heard it. You played the Peter and the Wolf thing for me. I forget who's that by the artist.
That one, the one that I played, I think had David Bowie narrating the beginning of it, but it's technically composed by Prokofiev. I get the F and the K switched.
Okay, all right. So Peter and the Wolf, bassoon,
and but the thing was that they didn't have any bassoon lessons, so I started on alto sax. So I was a sax player before I played bassoon.
Sexy sax man. Man.
That ain't me.
Oh my god, your hipster levels are just absolutely off the chart. I'll tell you, Barry, it's like they broke the mold. It's like you're the hipster all of the hipsters are trying to be like, but it's you. You're so OG hipster with it. And just real quick, just segue, when I first saw Barry in class, I was just his briefcase, the beard, he's asking these technical questions, and I'm just dude, I don't know if I like this guy. I feel like he's a smarty pants. And now I can't get enough of Barry. Barry's fucking awesome. I love Barry. That's why you're the first person.
You and I get along great.
We get along
phenomenal.
Great. Geez. What else we got here? When did you realize that you were going to be committed to music in a long-term relationship? You're just I'm going to keep doing music related stuff or playing instruments, or I'm going to make music and that's it.
This is a story. I didn't figure it out until my dad retired.
Okay.
I actually was a medical major.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get into biology, nursing. My end goal was to be a neurologist.
Yeah.
But my dad retired, and the spoiled only child that I am, the plan was that my parents were going to cover my education up through medical school. But I was really struggling with, not that I have a hard time grasping scientific concepts.
Yeah.
But school layouts never worked out for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I took music classes as an elective, and basically when my dad retired, that was completely off the table.
Yes.
So I had to decide between taking out loans and being a starving college student in a field that I was realizing I didn't like the politics of. I don't like the politics involved with the medical field right now.
Okay.
Or do I become a starving musician? So originally I was going for a performance major. I was going to actually audition on bassoon.
Solo bassoon.
Get my bachelor's in performance with an emphasis in woodwinds.
Woodwinds?
Yeah.
I'm fucking dying over here.
So
this shit exists, man.
Yeah, I mean clarinet, oboe, English horn, bassoon,
Crazy.
So that was my first decision, as this is definitely what I am focusing on. I had bought some cheap, MIDI keyboard that never met my needs, even as a beginning introductory musician. And I ended up deciding that I'm like, you know what? I can blend music and sciences together. Let's go with audio engineering. That sounds great.
Let's do it.
So here we are.
Dope. Well, I'm glad we're here. Let's see. What hoops did you have to jump through to get here? What was the struggle? To get here. You're here in the program. We're on our second semester. I think we're wrapping up a year. We're gonna have another year left. and it hasn't been easy in the program alone, let alone, I'm sure, life. Like, what's that been like?
That's a broad spectrum question. That's let's see. So I mean, prior to even trying to get into the program, man. I mean, at community college, what I was trying to do, for medical school, I ended up being on academic probation 2, maybe even 3 separate times, just because I really, admittedly, it's hard for me to get passing grades in classes, and it's not an intelligence thing. I just can't sit down and do homework. I don't have the attention span for it. I have to really isolate myself in order to be able to do that. So that in itself is a struggle, just, getting the classes taken care of to get to where I needed to be. What actually opened the door for me is I was working a job a little over a year ago now. I was working a job a little over a year ago now that, was paying decently. I was able to build up a savings. I was able to start working towards building my own personal home studio kind of setup. And in that, I was planning on saving up for school. But around April 17th, April 17th, 2017 now, my grandmother passed away.
Sorry to hear that. R.I.P. Grandma.
It's all right. And within a week of my grandmother passing away, my mom comes up to me and says, make sure that you're in college. It's covered. Don't worry about it. We have you covered. Make sure you're in. Unfortunately, I can't openly take a blank check that's like, hey, here you go. So I made sure that while my mom wouldn't disclose with me the financial situation, which is understandable, I wanted to take the time and explain, like, hey, this is what it's going to cost. I realize that you aren't quite aware of what college costs are today. My parents are significantly older than me. I'm 27, and in August, my parents are turning 65 and 64. So, sorry, parents, for outing you on that one.
Shots fired.
They're not on my Facebook. They're not going to see it. My aunt and cousins might, though. So... yeah, that's what allowed me to get into school. Otherwise, I probably would have been working another year or 2 to save up money. But the week before I was supposed to move down to start classes, I ended up going to the ER for a kidney stone.
Oh.
I don't remember if I ever actually told you about that. I think I did.
You mentioned that you had like some kidney stones kicking up, coming back at you, but you didn't tell me like right before we started.
August 17th. August 17th, I went to the ER.
I've never had them, but I heard they're really painful.
It's the one time that I've puked from pain alone.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Dude, you can puke because it's like so...
It just, your body's in so much pain that it has to reject something. And it was wild.
God.
I mean, and it was really, really wild because I had woken up that morning and like, it almost seems like a dream of sorts. It doesn't seem like that pain existed, like legitimately existed. So I woke up, I was having some dull back pain. I go to use the bathroom, and within about 45 minutes, and in that 45 minutes, I talked to my dad about taking me to the ER, or actually urgent care. That's where I first wanted to go because I wasn't sure what was going on.
Yeah.
And within about 45 minutes, I went from probably about a 2 or 3 on the pain scale to a solid 10 out of 10.
Wow.
I mean, by the time that I was in the ER and they were getting me the IV hookup for painkillers, I was shaking because of pain.
Damn.
Yeah, it was a
man.
weird experience. And my parents followed that up with, "Hey, if you want to quit school, that's okay. We understand." And I'm just like, "Hey guys, like, no, this is a lot. You know, I'm not gonna, like, if I give up this one semester, I can't come back for a whole other year."
Yeah, because once the program starts rolling, like,
you're not gonna come in halfway through.
Nah.
So, or a quarter of the way through, I guess.
Yeah,
but,
you know, till the new session, like whatever.
So
over.
I'm like, no, I'm either toughing it out. I remember the first wall drip exam. First wall drip exam I took on 3 hours of sleep and hydrocodone.
Oh, Lordy. You was turned, Barry. You was lit.
I sat down for the final and took a hydrocodone because I was still in pain from the night before. And I remember, I remember sitting there. The night before, I was walking around. I've got this little octagon table in my apartment, and I took hydrocodone because I was in pain, and just started carrying my exam papers to study from, and just walked around in a circle to distract myself
from the pain.
Yeah, and I started tripping out. I started thinking somebody else was in my studio apartment with me.
Ooh, getting a little hallucinating.
Yeah. So I don't like painkillers, to say the least.
Yeah. Wow. Fuck them opioids.
So that's about the extent of my struggles. I realize it's nothing too horrible, but
okay. Hey, everybody's story is different. I don't want fucking kidney stones.
No, it's not good. It's
not
good.
Man.
I still remember before I ever had them. My friend's mom in high school told me she'd rather have another kid before she ever had another kidney stone.
I'd rather have a giant watermelon come out of my vagina than have kidney stones.
Basically, yeah.
Fuck that. Oh my god! Shout out to my wife. Shout out to my wife. Oh, Tanisha, baby. We're gonna have a little Atticus come October, so I will be joining the dad game. Got my dad hat on here. I don't know why I call it a dad hat. I just feel like it's real dad. I gotta get shorts, some New Balance, high socks, all that stuff.
Gotta get the grill out.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna grill, dude. I'm gonna be the most shit talkingest, out of control dad. I want my kid to be wild, man. Just wild and smart and just out of control.
Good.
Just listen to me,
That's
though.
a good way to be.
I don't know if that's gonna work. Let's see. So that what are the different ways you're involved with music now?
Oh, I feel like I think I spread myself thin on that one. I mean, I've been this last 6 months I really started diving into synthesis. Your wife's shouting back at you there.
Yes, I'm listening. Hi. Make me a sandwich, woman.
Damn.
Have me a sandwich when I come home. But seriously, if you could, I'd really appreciate that. I'm just kidding. You don't have to make me a sandwich. But
you better take her out for food later after that one.
Yeah. I cook the food, so I'll make food or take her out or whatever she wants.
Yes, sir. That's good.
What did I ask you? What are you involved with music now?
Let's see. So in the last 6 months, I started really diving into actual physical synthesis. So, obviously everyone's got their plugins, their
in the box.
Constrained to the computer. They got to have their screen in front of them, battery powered, electrical power.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be able to have their digital audio workstation and be able to set their stuff up. They got their loops, their samples. I want to start from literal scratch.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to build from the circuitry up into the point where you can actually develop and design a synthesizer.
So you want to do it yourself synthesizer.
Yeah, I want to get to a point where I understand enough circuitry that I can build the components of synthesis into a full-fledged synthesizer and possibly have it be my own. Not for mass production, not for marketing, we'll see, but have its own characteristics, have its own capabilities. It's going to be a long way out, but on top of that, music-wise, let's see. I dabble with scoring for films, composition, music theory, studying advanced music theory, working on trying to get compositions done for a couple of films, short films.
You know what I was just thinking? Because I thought about like Robert Moog and like Moog synthesizers. Mm-hmm. How's this sound? Sutton synthesizers.
Check the comments right now.
What's we got? Matt.
My friend Matt just commented with literally the exact same thing.
They call it the Sutton Synth.
You guys are on the same brainwave. That's
great. Man.
That's
no,
great.
I believe it. I have faith in you, and you gotta fucking dream big, man. Just set something like a goal that's so ridiculous, so outlandish, and just work towards it. But like, have it so it's not so challenging that it's stretching you out.
It's all baby steps to get
just
there.
Like barely within your realm of competency. All right.
So,
Let's see. So, what type of music shaped your inspirations? I know you mentioned Peter Wolf. Your mom was busting out the flute, hated that.
Yeah.
You got the violin at 5. You were like, screw this. The bassoon. We had some bassoon stuff. I doubt there was any.
My dad's Tangerine Dream cassette
The
tape.
Tangerine Dream.
That really shaped it for me.
The Tangerine Dream. So that was
getting raised on synthesis as well as classical, which obviously learned about Wendy Carlos.
Wendy Carlos,
the one that did Switched on Bach and stuff like that.
I don't remember.
Anyway, Moog performance for Bach compositions. Point was there that I was introduced to both classical and electronic around the same time, which I don't think was a typical setup.
That's dope.
And I had my dad talk about engineering. You know, as a little kid, I was tearing into Xerox machines and learning how all the inner wiring worked. There's probably a picture somewhere of me sitting inside of a Xerox machine disconnecting all the wires.
That's awesome. It could be the album cover for your first major release.
It'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
So definitely got raised on electronic and classical. My parents raised me on classic rock, Van Halen, Beach Boys, Black Sabbath. I remember through elementary school being introduced into hip hop and rap. One of the first albums that I personally ever purchased was actually 2003, 2004. I picked up Outkast's Speaker Box Love Below album.
Double CD?
Yeah, the double CD.
Yeah.
With Big Boy and Andre 3000. And that was one of my first albums that I ever picked up. Was
like
actually
physical,
yeah,
like you chose.
I chose.
You chose.
Yeah, and so that really shaped things because I started listening. I'm this band nerd in high school, and I'm listening to hip hop music. And now, funny enough, is that I bought it. I think I bought it at the time you could buy censored CDs.
Oh God!
So,
Walmart or something.
Yeah. And so I used to listen to censored music all the time because my parents were really strict on whether I could listen to music that had swearing in it.
Yeah.
So I got into that. I started getting into Modest Mouse, Beck, Radiohead. Radiohead I didn't actually get into around 2007.
Yeah. So
that got later in, but I also started getting into psychedelic music as well. Jimi Hendrix.
Cool.
So I was given a wide palette of acceptable music. And I think that I've taken things from all of that. The history of music is really fascinating. The idea that, you have these different stages in which sounds have developed. And that also gets back into the synthesis concept as well. Yeah. Because the whole thing about synthesis is that you can structure any sound you want. Yeah. It's not so much about the genre anymore. It's about what sounds are involved. Instrumentation. Yeah. So, I don't know, when as hipster as it sounds...
Here we go.
As hipster as it sounds, I think I've got a really wide taste in music.
Yes. I think you do. Every time you play me something when we hang out at your place, man, I'm just like, what the fuck is this? Like, I'm so surprised I haven't heard it. That's the good thing about this program. Everyone's like so deep in the music game and such fans of music.
Absolutely.
Like I mentioned some like obscure abstract whatever like group or band, and like somebody already knows what it is and they're already on the same page, or they're introducing me to new music. So that's great. What are people saying over there? What do we got going? Talk about OP1. What is OP1?
That's my synthesizer. That's the one that I was messing around with in class yesterday.
Oh, don't worry. I do want Barry to share some of his stuff, but let's see. Do you want to play? Can you cue that up?
Yeah.
Some of your stuff?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
We can either hook it up through an aux connection or...
I have it right over here.
Cool. Yeah. And we can play it right off of the OP1 or...
Yeah. So Barry is going to grab his OP1 at the suggestion of Mr. Christopher Lambert. He's going to play us a few samples. And then we're going to get back into it. Or do you already have it? Is it pretty easy to start that up? And let me see how far this reaches over here. It doesn't reach
far. All right.
Is that going to be difficult?
I could try and play it upside down. I mean, I'm just really just going over some sounds.
Does it have Bluetooth?
No, I wish. That'd actually be pretty cool. I
don't know if that's going
to switch spots.
Yeah, I guess we can switch spots. We're going to have to switch headphones.
That's fine. I'm good with that if that's cool with you.
Here, we're going to try this. Okay, hold on. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so just go ahead and plug that into the side here. I'll move this out of the way.
Is this one cut for now?
Yeah, the aux is cut right now, and we'll see. I think we can. Is it already? Let me see something. Turn this down.
Yeah, we got sound.
You can hear it? Yeah, I can hear it. So, yeah. Go ahead and any samples you want to just.
So, OP1's an odd one. Just so everyone else can see it real quick. This thing is seen by quite a few as kind of a toy. I mean, it's modeled after one of the old Casio synths.
Plays the sounds, Barry. Plays the sounds.
So it's entirely digital. There's no analog components. It's circuitry. It's sound banks. So let's see.
So is that one that you already made?
Yeah, this is one that I set up. I loaded a drum kit into it.
Okay.
So you've got different drum kits. And
Ooh.
You can sequence different drums.
It's got a little LED action on there too.
You can switch which kit you're in.
I like that thing, but that just looks like super complicated.
Oh, it's weird. The whole thing that I enjoy about it is that you can't take a typical approach to synthesis with it. You really have to look at it from the standpoint that you're doing visual exploration.
Nice. Wow. So I do want to go ahead and dude, that's cool. I do want to go ahead and get back to the questioning.
No,
you can stay there though. Pass me that, even though I have no coffee in that. Thank you for sharing that, Barry. Because I know the reason I'm stopping Barry is because if I don't stop him, we will we will eat up every last minute with him playing around on that
Robert
device.
Hughes knows what's going on.
Yeah,
Barry playing it at Starbucks for 3 hours. So there you
go. Let me go ahead and get. Where was I playing it from? The PC?
You're playing from aux.
This. Yeah, hit music. That. So.
Well, yeah, you have it cut now.
Oh, that's right. I love that Barry knows more about this than I do. Okay, so I kind of already Are you? I already know the answer to this. So I'm gonna ask you: are you interning anywhere right now?
Nah.
No.
I mean,
you're not about that intern lifestyle. Try and get into the industry, bro.
I plan on searching around in August. That's
August.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm supposed to go spend 2 weeks house sitting for my parents, and I figured it's gonna be a little rough to. Try and apply for an internship, and then be like, yeah, you know what? From July 14th to July 29th, I'm not gonna be here. So hope that works with your internship plans.
I'm going on vacation.
I'll be available starting in August. Thank you. Thanks for taking my application.
Okay. What do you aspire to contribute to the music scene? Do you aspire to contribute anything to music scene?
I do. I've got some projects in mind that are going to get a little, I would think, unique. I eventually, maybe already, no, eventually, want to... I want to design music. I want to get albums out, but I want it to be completely under a false name. I don't want there to be any attachment to who I am as a person. I want to be able to produce an album where somebody can listen to it and enjoy it and, you know, find the music interesting, artistic, beautiful, whatever adjectives you want to use. And if it becomes big, it becomes big. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it would mean that I don't have to deal with the idea of fame. I don't want my face.
Not interested.
I don't want my face or my name to be acknowledged when I go out in public. I don't like the idea of fame. I don't like the idea that if I go out, somebody might want to get my picture or, you know, talk about my life in an article somewhere. It's like I don't care enough about anyone's life, including my own, to write an article about them. I mean, don't get me wrong. I find my friends fascinating. I find people that I talk to fascinating. I find people in general fascinating. But the idea of idolizing someone is really strange to me.
Yeah, we tend to idolize these celebrities as gods.
Yeah.
And then they have everything, and yet they're still like deeply hollow and just unhappy inside, and they do wild stuff. I mean, I don't even want to drop names because I don't even want to contribute anything to famous people. Already famous. We don't really have to talk to them, but they be acting mad wild. They acting real crazy out here in the streets.
I think everybody's got probably somebody in mind already.
Yeah, so. We know. I mean, where do you want to go? We don't have to. I really I'm serious. Don't even want to really go there. Give those people any type of credit.
No, that's fine.
So, how do you feel about the current state of the music industry?
I need to learn more about it. I think that's what it comes down to is I don't know the inner politics of the music industry. I think the idea of licensing and copyright is really fascinating. I think that there's some, especially in the digital age, there's definitely some foolproofing that could go on with that so that you don't get a situation such as Radiohead and Lana Del Rey. I don't know if you heard about that one. Where
are they collabing?
No, Lana Del Rey got there's some lawyer discussions. There was
about what?
One of her songs came out, and it was claimed that Radiohead's "Creep" had been copyrighted. And there's some comparisons between the two, and to some extent, there's some similarities.
Ooh.
But
between what?
Between "Creep" and one of Lana Del Rey's songs.
So did she sample "Creep"?
No, but she heavily referenced it. So the question you get
heavily lyrics?
No, melody wise. The melody is very similar, which gets into some weird technicalities of, where do you get creativity from? You can't copyright chords. You can't, you can't copyright. At what point is a melody so distinct that it has to belong to that song?
Well, because you can only, from what I've learned so far, being in the digital media arts program here at Dominguez Hills, and we talked about some business stuff. You can only copyright lyrics and melody.
Mm-hmm.
And then if something goes to court, it comes down to if people subjectively think it sounds similar enough, they can just.
And it gets into listenability too, because for the exact same song, Radiohead was sued by the Hollies. I don't know what song they made. They're from the 70s. But if you if you listen to the song, it's it's very clearly sounds like they riffed off of that song.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get into listenability. The Hollies weren't, to my understanding, that well known. So maybe not that many people had heard it, and it's very possible that Radiohead never heard it. So you could argue, hey, we've never heard this song, therefore we could have never copied off of it, even if it does sound identical. So it's just some weird technicalities that I feel that you could overcome to some extent.
Yeah.
But in terms of actual politics, I find it strange to an extent, the idea that for, say, a runner, it's like, oh yeah, you get to be a runner for 2 years before you can work your way up the chain.
Yeah, that's just like being like a studio intern. Go get my coffee.
But you get paid for it. But at the same time, like, I guess to some extent, like, I feel that if you had the know-how and the understanding of how a system worked, that you should be able to apply for a higher up position without working from the ground up. Like, obviously it's a good idea to start from the ground up so that you have that familiarity, but if you have the ability to train yourself for different abilities on your own time, why still work through those 1 to 2 years to get up to the next rank?
Well, yeah, that's what's cool about, like, I guess technology now and all this stuff. Like, for instance, we're doing this podcast right now, live streaming, and I mean, you know, potentially, like, say if I get like significant enough of a following, I can kind of just do my own thing. I don't have to get on like Time Warner or like Comcast or whatever. And if you're an artist, you don't have to like get a label deal. Like, you can just be straight independent, like Chance the Rapper or I don't know, whoever, and just kind of go from there and try to focus on, you know, you might have to pay for distribution, but like, you know, try and get that show money
too.
You know, streams don't pay nothing. Copyright it yourself. They taught us a little bit about that, copywriting some stuff, and just kind of, you know, blow up, you know. So I completely lost my train of thought.
We talk about involvement with the music industry, what our thoughts are on the music industry. So
working from the bottom. You don't have to. You can do what you said.
I'm glad to an extent that we've lost the nepotism of
like passing
40s,
down
50s, 60s, where it's like, oh, it stays within the family. It stays within people that are already involved in the music industry. You now have a music industry in which people can actually break into it and then become involved. They don't have to be involved by essentially an inheritance. They can move into it if they want to.
The people decide, like, just like music and all these like shows or whatever, YouTube stuff on the internet, like the people, like, you know, they can the advertisers can like throw it in our face and this and that, but really the people, you know, just like celebrities, they're the ones that make everyone like famous, make things popular by like gaining followings. So like, it's not like you have like one cable network and you got your TV and like you only watch this and these shows. Like, people can go around. Like, I don't have cable. I cut the cord on cable. I only mess with like Netflix and like different YouTube stuff and whatever, and I decide what I want to watch when I want to watch it. And like, I especially don't fuck with advertisements. I despise advertisements and just pop-ups, and they're getting more crafty. And you know, even these algorithms, like, that's why I'm not going to play any copyrighted stuff on my podcast. I don't want to deal with all the copyright stuff, and I'm surrounded by artists in this program. So I'm just going to, like, you know, I want to make this a platform for artists in my program, and even outside the program. If you have uncopyrighted music and you want to submit that to me, you can do that, and I will play it on here. We don't have to deal with the man hating on us because they're trying to get their money.
That's a fantastic idea.
Yeah. So let's see what else. What other kind of questions do I have for you? We shared a little bit on music. What scares you about going into the profession we're going into, being, I don't know, kind of artist, audio engineer, music, entertainment?
Were you at the mixer with the panelist guys that were there?
You mean the audio fair thing? Yeah.
But with the panelists from the two studio.
Yeah. We had the two music producer guys. I can't remember their names.
Robert Carranza, and then I can't remember the other guy's name right now. One of the things that scares me is the financial aspect. There's been a lot that's changed since they entered the field, you know. And I tried to ask them about it, but I didn't really get the response that I wanted.
Yeah.
And it's not that I wanted a certain response, it's more that I just wanted some depth to it. I felt like that was lacking. For me, what scares me with the music industry is, like we talked about with the runner hour idea. You're essentially expected to work for 1 to 2 years as a runner on essentially minimum wage. And somehow you're supposed to get by in the Los Angeles area on minimum wage and not get out on the streets and live out of your car and then finally be accepted into a higher up position. You know, it's like, so one of the things that I tried to ask those panelists, I don't know if you remember this, is I had tried to ask them how much are we supposed to grind before we give up and find something that actually will take care of us? And I'm not saying that the audio field won't, but it was in response to the fact that throughout this panel, they kept asking, or they kept saying, you're never going to get rich. Don't expect to get rich. But if you really enjoy the work, it's going to be a great field to be involved in. It's like, I agree with that. Like, I'm fine working in the field. It's a field of work that I find fascinating.
Yes.
But obviously, I need to be able to survive.
True that.
And I think it's the survival aspect that scares me the most.
Yeah.
I'm good with hard hours. I'm good with weird hours. I'm good with a lot of work. I've already had what I would consider to be some pretty stressful work environments. One of my shout out to one of my first coffee jobs. We had a job that in 9 months went through 45 employees for a place that only had maybe 15 people employed at a time.
You must be a really horrible manager to go through like 45 employees.
Yeah, and it was literally like trying to discard them because they wouldn't say yes to you. The owner basically wanted a yes person, wasn't getting it, and so everyone got discarded left and right.
Just want some like sycophant.
Yeah, no, they had some major issues, and I'm not going to get into any names or anything like that. But it's like, fact is, you went through 45 employees in the 9 months that I worked there. So,
here, let me open the door for.
You want me to get it?
Yeah, could you just watch the headphones there? It's all good, man. Don't worry about it.
Cool.
Are you good? Okay, he's got it. Can you throw the on-air button on over there? It's just gonna make me feel special. We're on the air, Black Aaron broadcast. Had to let our buddy Nick in. He's gonna play with the equipment in here. Shout out to him. So
my main scare is the financial aspect and actually getting to a point in the field where you can actually make a living, not struggle to get by until you make a living, but actually make a living. So that's my main fear in the music industry, breaking in.
Cool. I think that's kind of why, because we had this conversation. That's the reason I want to start this podcast, like I guess like a year in advance. I want to see what can come of it, because really, like, end game, it would be amazing to get paid to run my fucking mouth. Like, if I could get paid to just run my mouth, just sit here, do nothing, just wake up in the morning, drink some coffee, do some pull-ups, kiss my wife, hug the dog, kiss my wife, whatever, and just like hang out and just like with my friends and like just talk, that would be it, dude. That would be awesome. And like, I mean, there's just lots of opportunity. Nothing's really certain ever, but there is like shit tons of opportunity with the internet and technology. And like, I think if we just focus on being positive, moving forward, and putting all of our artistic creativity into whatever we want, like, the money will come. So I think we just got to stay focused and just keep moving forward. So I mean, I don't have like a huge plan. I just want to build up a lot of content. I want to network.
Sure.
I want to get, just get out there with the people and, just spread positive, chill vibes. And, if we can monetize some of that, this is America, capitalism. We're going to make America great again. I feel like a 35-year-old white man who likes craft beer right now, and I'm evoking my privilege, okay?
Great.
To get this money, baby.
Great.
All right?
Fantastic.
Because green don't discriminate. So, what else we got here? Oh, what is your least favorite thing regarding music right now? And this could be anything. I like to keep these questions real open.
Man, I think this answer is subject to change with more thought, but I would say, as we're talking about capitalism,
yes,
my least favorite thing with music is the idea that if you can essentially be a marketable individual,
Mm-hmm.
and you can be hired as a face, a body, and a voice
Mm-hmm.
for an industry,
Yeah.
you're going to earn a lot of money.
Yeah.
It doesn't require talent. It doesn't require an artistic ability.
Yeah.
You've got a team of writers and you've got a team of producers, and they'll take care of you. But you get to be this face. The thing about the music industry is that for the pop industry, especially,
yeah,
those people aren't making their own music.
Yeah.
The people are given a list of categories that they get to choose from that people want to hear about, whether it's lost love, whether it's rekindled relationships, whether it's, going to the club and having a good time, whatever it may be. You've got an easy list of genres of information and subjects that you want to, go with. And if you can sing about those, if you can write some creative-ish lyrics about those things, boom, you've just earned your millions. And it seems too formulaic to me. It's, there's a reason that even looking back at classical music, you can tell one composer apart from a different composer, both based off of region and influences in that region. However, I feel like you're getting to a point in the pop industry where we know what people enjoy, what their brains can easily digest and remember and catch on to. And if you can write a song that fits into that guideline,
that box,
then boom, you've just earned money. And it's not so much about music as an art anymore. It's not so much about trying to captivate an audience for the sake of an emotional response. It's about captivating an audience to make them feel good, which I guess is an emotional response.
Yeah.
But it's only to make them feel good, and to get the song stuck in their head to a point where they want to go and listen to it again and again and again. And so to abbreviate what my least favorite thing about music is right now is that there's a formula. There's no more creativity in that industry, and that it's not marketable. It's not financially reliable to be a creative individual.
True. It's true, because it is kind of dictated by who's even into whatever you're selling, your music or
well, it's because
whatever
we're trained to enjoy a certain. I think to an extent that pop music is brainwashing. That might be my controversial statement for the day, but I think pop music is designed for brainwashing. And now pop music, to clarify, could be country, could be rap, could be hip hop.
Yeah, it's anything at this point.
Following a certain chord structure, following a 4/4 structure at a certain beat per minute, and singing about things that are simple enough that you can digest what the lyrics are, remember one of the lines, remember a couple bars of the melody, and you've got yourself a hit song. And it's not about being creative. It's not about actually finding an artistic reason to make something.
Yeah.
It's about the money entirely.
Basically, it's about those dollar bills. Everything can be monetized in a capitalist economy. Everything.
Come on, pet rocks.
What?
Pet rocks.
Pet rocks. Pet rocks. You want to get a Supreme brick?
Yeah, right.
The logo Supreme on a freaking brick.
It's like the bootleg shirt that I saw the other day. That was the Supreme IKEA logo put together. It was just like Sepkia. It's great.
Yeah, man, they'll monetize anything. And I just want to touch on this because we're talking about monetizing stuff, and even think about like reality television. It doesn't matter what it is. I mean, it's everywhere, but think even people's pain. Like somebody's got cancer, like we're monetizing that. That's entertainment, and they're dying or they're going through everything. There's nothing that is off limits.
I got a spam call for donating to the Leukemia Foundation, which it wasn't a legitimate call.
Of course not.
Which obviously then makes, if you figure out that you're getting spam calls for donating to cancer, you're going to realize that you're going to start questioning legitimate calls to donate to cancer. Which
where does that money go?
Pretty sad.
Yeah. You got to question everything. Let's see. So, who's been your biggest supporter?
That's interesting. I would almost lean towards saying myself.
Hey, be your own rock.
I think my close friends really they support me, but it's more like, hey man, that's really cool. Go ahead and do you.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, my parents support me in a lot of ways, but in terms of creativity and actually, I guess I'm seeing support from the standpoint of, well, have you thought about trying to do this? Like, this might be a really good idea for you. You're talking about my dad, who didn't even know that albums were produced before they were sold. He thought that you were just listening to the band come in and jam out.
Like, they didn't plan anything.
Yeah, they
just straight freestyled.
This rap music is literally people with drum pads in the studio. They're singing. That what you're hearing is them singing. All those effects are done live. All this stuff, and I'm like, no, Dad. Like it's a task.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. There's a lot that goes into that.
And I guess my mom's perspective, to an extent, is very passive. Oh, you do you, honey.
Yeah.
You know, and
do
so
you,
it's
boo-boo?
like, which is great. Like, I'm glad that my parents give me their support in the idea of, you get to do whatever you want to do. Like, this is your thing to do. Have at it. And obviously there's the financial support too, which I'm greatly thankful for. But I think from an emotional and mental support, like, yeah, I'd say it comes from myself. It's a lot of taking time to myself and thinking, okay, what's the next step? What am I going to do next? What's something that I might try?
Yeah.
And
that's a good way to think.
So I think that my support is myself for the most part. That
nice.
You know, which I realize could sound selfish, but I don't see it that way. It's not that I'm unthankful for others. I greatly am, but I think that for myself, it's mostly comes down to me convincing myself that it's okay.
Nice. That's good. So let's see. What if you were on a week-long cruise and you had to pick 3 bands or artists, dead or alive, that were going to play every night? Who would it be? Dead or alive?
Play every night on the cruise, or play every night like I'd be listening to them while I'm on the cruise?
You're listening to them on the cruise, play live like every night. 3 artists or bands, like dead or alive. This is a question I'm going to ask all my guests, because I think I came up with Steven Adams in our program, and it's like a dope. I think it's a really good question.
Could they be alive but earlier in their career?
Yeah, like if you want to go like 97.
I'm thinking I'd want to see Elton John perform live, but back at like his prime, like right after wow, I'm spacing on the album name.
I don't know any of Elton John's album names, but I mean, I like his music. He's pretty dope.
Wow, what? It's his like biggest album. It's not Yellow Brick Road.
Yellow Brick Road.
It's not a direct Wizard of Oz reference, but it's something similar to that. I don't know why I can't remember it. But yeah, I would want to see him like right in his prime.
Okay, Elton John, 2 more.
Every single night. I think Beck would be good.
Beck.
But I'd say Beck, especially from the standpoint that, like, yeah, if he was playing every single night, like, at least if he played one album a night, like, you'd have something completely different every single night.
Yeah, because all his albums are different.
You get some variation. Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road. That's where I was getting golden from, is the G in the beginning. Thank you, Chris.
Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road. Thanks, Christopher Lambert. So
everyone's getting on me about forgetting that one.
Okay, what?
And then third. LCD Sound System, I think.
Yeah, and they like took a hiatus and then they got back.
Yeah, they came out with This Is Happening in 2010, and then just came out last year. And I mean, towards the end of last year, they came out with American Dream. And it was, to my understanding, it wasn't an expected return. It was just suddenly, here you go. Here's this album. So it was pretty cool. It was a change in their style too.
Nice.
So
I think those are some good picks. Beck,
Elton John,
and LCD Sound System.
Sound System.
Early Elton John. All right. Let's see here. Oh, are you ashamed at the amount of time you spend scrolling memes and watching videos on YouTube?
Sometimes. I don't think it's so much my own personal time that I'm ashamed about. It's more that I am very well aware that I get stuck on showing other people these things.
You definitely are a sharer. As I mentioned earlier, he's a sharer of existential dog memes.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Anything pissing you off right now? Anything at all? Anything?
I think you're thinking the same thing I am. Class yesterday.
Oh man. Oh, what?
We've got a class right now that could be summed up in an email.
Oh,
and it's just I don't know why I'm showing up for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Especially when the feedback counteracts the feedback that you got the week before. So that's a whole story. No, I don't know if pissing off is the right term, but my experience with the whole Santa Ana grenade scare last week it stresses me, I think is a better term for it. It's not that I'm mad about it.
Yeah.
There's something really weird to me.
That was weird.
For those that hadn't heard about this, if you look up Santa Ana grenade scare for about a week ago.
How about a week
ago? There's just something really strange about it. Basically, police got called because somebody had there's a punk concert going on. I am going to put blame on them for this. From the standpoint that what I'm guessing is that they found an inert grenade, and I'm going to guess that it was like a charm on one of the punk kids' jackets that fell off.
Probably, you know how those punk kids.
So they called in a bomb squad, locked down the block for like 2 hours. But the thing that was really strange to me is how nonchalant everyone was.
People don't care. Like the blur between reality and like what's not reality. It's like it's the line. It's gone. People. Yeah, I mean, we see death every day on the interwebs.
But you're still getting an emotional charge from seeing, terrorist attacks and stuff like that. So I guess for me, it was really interesting to be like, hey, we need you to keep a 1-block evacuation. There's a grenade.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the police themselves didn't say that, but it was a word that was spreading around. And so it was just really unusual to me that it was a very slow movement. There were street vendors and people were still stopping to go shop at these street vendors with a supposed grenade within 10 to 15 feet of them.
Yo, people today do not give a fuck. They do not give a fuck today. People do not care. They're on some other shit. It's really strange out here, man. Let's see. I do want to ask a few more questions because I don't know when the next person's coming, but I'm just gonna ride it to the limit. I think that's a good decision. We'll just fuck it. What was your favorite cartoon from childhood?
Man, the 90s were good.
90s baby. 90s baby. 80s baby though.
Yeah, I know, but
I'm old, bro.
You had G.I. Joe, I guess.
Fuck yeah, dude. G.I. Joe, American Hero. Knowing is half the battle.
The original Space Ghost, didn't you?
I don't remember Space Ghost till that, like, the Cartoon Network came on.
And they did Space Ghost Coast to Coast and all that jazz. But there's an actual Space Ghost cartoon.
Shit. I did watch that, dude, man. That's when we got the show, we got the toys, we got like the food, like the snacks, like everything. I went to a live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle show. Oh man, God, bro.
Favorite cartoon. All right, so I don't know.
R.I.P. 80s cartoon morning show. Like I don't know what's going on these days, but we had it. It was going down. Go ahead, Barry. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Come on, favorite cartoon, man. Where's it at? I know you got something.
Honestly, nostalgia-wise, and I does Claymation count as cartoon?
Yeah, man. What, Gumby?
No,
that's the only one I remember.
I grew up with Gumby. I did actually. We had Gumby VHS tapes in my house.
Huh.
But I it's So we had Gumby VHS tapes. We also had Miyazaki on VHS.
Miyazaki?
So my Neighbor Totoro.
Man, here goes our hipster bullshit. Right? What is it? Mixed? Say that again.
Miyazaki. He's a Japanese animator. I mean, it's technically anime, but not in the sense that you would typically think of it. It's definitely an art piece. I mean, you're talking about for all but one film, I believe, every single film that he's done is hand watercolor cell by cell.
Is that the Spirited Away guy? Yeah, did he pass away?
No, he's still alive.
He's still alive?
I think he retired. He might be coming back for one last film though. I can't remember.
Just looking at these comments.
Yeah, that was great. That was great.
Okay.
But no, to answer your question, I think I would have to go with the one Prometheus and Bob.
Prometheus and Bob?
Yeah.
What is this?
Okay, do you remember on Nickelodeon there was Kablam? It was like a compilation show. There was like Justice League All Stars, where it was like this just failure of like action figure like superheroes. There's just a compilation. It's where I think Angry Beavers came from as well.
You're getting out of my realm a little bit. I remember Angry Beaver. I remember hearing it. I remember like looking at something. I'm not gonna watch that.
Prometheus and Bob was this like stop motion animation, I think claymation a little bit, about an alien that traveled back to the caveman era and was trying to teach a caveman how to do different things.
Yeah.
But even with as intelligent as the alien was, the caveman kept sabotaging what the alien was capable of doing.
Ooh.
And it's hilarious. It's slapstick comedy to an extent, but it's like there's some.
Yeah, he just did like the description. He like Googled that shit, went to IMDb,
so
copy paste.
Much for that. No, I'm definitely that is going to be something I show you later because I feel like you would wildly enjoy it.
Okay, we'll maybe watch that. I still haven't forgiven you for making me watch an OK Go music video.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Dude, I don't like all that. Like, I just want the music. I want my music to be like super chill, ambient, laid back, Enya, or this like lo-fi hip hop. Or I want it to be like super hard, like, I don't know, like Death Grips or Rage Against the Machine. And, you got like, I feel like hip hop's in between, but it also like kind of cross pollinates with a lot of stuff like the rock stars today. But what else? If you could rescore any movie or television show, what would it be?
Now, the question is rescore it because I think it would be a great project to work on, or rescore it because I think it needs to be rescored.
Yeah, because either it sucked or just you would think you could do it better.
Any Lifetime show.
Any what?
Any Lifetime show.
Any Lifetime show? Oh, man.
I mean, you're talking about a standpoint that when I was growing up with my parents, I remember there's one time that for some reason my parents actually enjoy sitting down and watching Lifetime movies.
Really?
Yeah. And so
strange.
I got out of the shower and I just hear this sad, sappy piano music. And the way my parents' house is structured is you've got the bottom floor where the TV is, and that's where they're watching TV. And then I get out of the shower like up here, so there's like an open area that I can hear everything.
Yeah.
And I step out of the shower, and I just like, Mom, Dad, are you watching Lifetime right now? And they're like, yeah, how'd you know? And I was like, because the music sucks. I was just like, didn't have to even see the show. I could tell just from the music that it was a Lifetime movie.
Maybe we should grab some Lifetime clips off like YouTube or something, and then like maybe like strip the audio, or I don't know. We can just change up the mood on it. Just play with that. Maybe to make that a little side project. So Lifetime. But
if there was one that I think would be fascinating to try and rescore, I guess I can make a joke about Funny Games, but that's probably too obscure.
I have no idea what that is.
Funny Games literally does not have a score. There's no music background to it unless characters put on music. It's a really good thriller sometime if you ever want to watch it.
Wait, is that a movie?
Yeah.
Oh, with that guy with the blonde hair.
The two blonde guys.
That weirdo, man. Dude, that was super weird. They're at the house, and they there was like a family there, and then these two kids come over with the golf clubs, and they're getting wild. I know what you're talking about.
But there's literally no score. There's no background sounds. There's nothing to build tension or anything like that outside of the fact that there is a complete lack of sound. outside of what's actually happening in the scene.
Yeah.
I think it's phenomenal. I think that was a phenomenal choice to go with
for
a lack of sound, because you're so trained that for a thriller, you need this violin to do this like kind of crawling upwards to build suspense. And it's like, no, you don't. You genuinely can have a complete lack of sound and use sounds within the environment based off of the character's movements to create suspense.
And we're back to Peter and the Wolf a little bit.
To an extent,
Well, I guess obviously the music came before any visual stuff, but you did say that they use certain instruments to represent like the different characters and that sets mood.
I mean that there are literally no instruments in it. There are 2 songs in the entirety of Funny Games where there's the beginning scene where they're driving in a car and they put in a CD. There's music there.
Okay.
And there's one scene where someone, without giving any plot spoilers, someone escapes the house.
Yeah.
And one of the psychopaths, whatever you want to call it, goes into the house after them and puts on a CD to cover up his sounds of going around the house. But those are the 2 or 3 songs that play throughout the entire movie. Outside of that, there's no background music at all. It's only the sounds happening in the movie.
Interesting. Maybe I'll check it out again and just see how that if I felt like it was like creepy or like in like thriller,
I've got a copy of it
like
if you want.
Vibes.
So.
Of course you do, Barry.
Of
course you do. Let's see what else we have here. If you're going for a night drive, what would you put on?
Okay, good one. Night drive, I would put on Calm Trues.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's perfect city night driving music.
I was gonna say that. I'm thinking I would put on probably Kavinsky.
Yeah, well, Kavinsky's solid. Kavinsky's a little bit more hit or miss for me. I like some of his songs. Like I could make a playlist and pick some of his songs and put them in there. But I would go with Calm Trues. I'd go with Home.
Oh, I still need to listen to that. I need to get that album. I need to make a note about
Home
that.
Odyssey is great.
I need to remember so much music.
Let's see. What's another one? There's another one that I had. Can't remember it. Calm Trues, Home, Night Drive.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, that's what I was going to say. One song specifically, and that's more for when I'm. This is one that I'd put on when I'm driving out to my parents, which they're out in the canyon. They're out in the middle of nowhere.
Santa Maria, shout out.
And it's a small town, but out where my parents live is just. If you're driving home at midnight, you're probably not even going to see a car on your drive home. So I would put on Royksopp Forever, which is by Royksopp.
Royksopp is good too.
There's no vocals, there's nothing. It's an instrumental mix with electronic, but it feels like you're driving through a movie. And
Sigur Rós too.
That would be good.
Is that how you say that?
I think so.
Okay, I got it right.
I'm sure there's some accent on there.
I'm sure there is.
Forgetting as Americans. But.
Yeah. Also, because I think I do want to ask one more question. Because I think I want to wrap it up so we don't bump into the other show. Yeah. I don't know if they're coming, but I don't. But just to kind of stay to schedule here. One more question. Are you excited for Sunday?
Yes.
We are. You're very excited.
Very excited.
I'm excited too. We're going to see Flying Lotus at the Hollywood Bowl this Sunday, performing with Little Dragon and Bad Not Good. It's going to be lit.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to have a lot of fun. I've seen Flying Lotus before. He's got a dope 4D hologram thing that shoot at you. So I hope he does that. He came out as Captain Murphy too. Did the rap thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like his alter ego, MF Doom thing. Yeah, it's sick. So yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm excited for Sunday.
Oh, that's gonna be great. still got to figure out those plans exactly.
Yeah, we don't really.
Gonna be great.
Yeah. Fuck it. We're gonna ask a few more questions.
Oh, there we go.
What's that?
Chris Lambert wants to know, is it good or bad? I haven't listened to it. Is it
good or bad? I mean, it's like I don't even want to say his name, but the album of the artist who will remain unnamed. The album is like it's like a sonic admission of mental instability. All his inside thoughts have become outside thoughts and recorded in the studio over bipolar beat production. I don't know. I mean, it's got good stuff on there. It's just I don't know if he's like trying to sell mental illness, trying to use it to sell record. Like, it's just, I don't know. I think somebody needs to talk to him and help him out and like give him a hug. Maybe he doesn't need a hug. Maybe he's just doing all this for whatever because he only has anything. Yeah, PR, because he only has stuff to say when he's got an album to drop. But
how about this? How would you say it stands up to his other albums?
I don't know. I like the Yeezus one better. That was like kind of my favorite album. Maybe Beautiful Dark. I don't know. Probably Yeezus like that. I was like, at that time I was doing a lot of drinking and kicking it and just raging in the streets, so that was doing it for me. Weekend is cool too. What else do we have here? Let's see. Worst and best thing about the internet.
Wow, I could get into that one. That's good. Best thing, amount of information available. Worst thing, amount of information available. Easily. I mean,
it's a paradox.
I can go onto the internet and I can go teach myself undergraduate and graduate level electronic engineering if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I could go teach myself how to use any piece of software that I want. I could teach myself anything.
Yeah.
I could, if I was dedicated enough and had enough structure to what I was doing, between forums, between tutorials online, between Open MIT and Open Yale, I could teach myself doctorate level education.
Yeah.
At the same time, I could also go find out how to buy so many illegal things. I could go find all sorts of human rights violations.
Yes.
So if you want to get into kind of real talk about what's the best and what's the worst about the internet, I think Spotify is great from the standpoint of, obviously they screw people over on payments, but the amount of music that I've been able to discover, the amount of art that I've been able to discover thanks to a $5 subscription is phenomenal.
Yeah, for sure.
I do think that's a good thing from the ability of artistic sharing. But as we're talking about capitalism, like obviously it causes some problems for the artist themselves.
Yeah.
But I also can't say that I'd necessarily be going to this Flying Lotus, Little Dragon, Bad Bad Not Good concert if I hadn't had Spotify to go listen to all of their music.
True that.
So there's some win-lose there.
We got the kids on campus. We always have kids. They're trying to get the kids educated. We got the school early education to college education pipeline popping off. Come and get that debt. Come and get those student loans.
It's gonna be a good time for everyone.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're talking to somebody who has spent a decent amount of time on the deep web. So
deep web.
Which is interesting because it kind of gives you a perspective on the world that I don't think that everyone gets to get. Not that necessarily everyone should get it in the standpoint that I don't think that every single 19 or 20-year-old should be like, hey, I am a legal adult now. Let's go download this secret browser so that I can go comfortably browse all of these horrible, horrible things that are available to me at my fingertips.
True.
I think you have to go in with a certain mindset, almost like you're seeing a museum exhibit. Kind of like, I mean, you and I had gone to the Death Museum.
Death Museum in LA. That was freaking
That was a trip.
Crazy.
That was...
People like pass out there. Somebody passed out while we were there because it's like so intense. The Death Museum. That was pretty sick.
Yeah. figuratively and literally.
Yeah, figuratively and literally, to point out.
But no, I mean there's things, you know, I went onto the Silk Road before it was taken down, and you know, it's interesting to realize that it took me 10 minutes to go load up a black market. And the amount of, then you really realize, well, this is stuff that they actually sell on a black market. It's not just a movie anymore.
Yeah.
You know, you're not thwarting the big bad villain that's trying to sell nukes to an enemy country over the black market.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I'd say that's easily the worst part of the internet. But it really comes down to the information age, is that just as much as you have phenomenal information that you could teach yourself anything with, you can also paradoxically teach yourself anything that could be the wrong information.
Yeah.
You could teach yourself the wrong viewpoint just because somebody convinced you on the internet that this is a logical thought process.
True. Flat Earth. Yeah. Shout out flat earthers.
So yeah, no, that said, it's just like, you know, people want to believe certain things. If you want to believe something, you're going to find the information that reinforces that belief.
Reinforces bias, confirmation bias, and all that.
Exactly. And so it really comes down to needing to check your thoughts.
Oh, all right. I think our next host is here. So I think we're going to peace out for the day. All right. It's been good talking to you, Barry. We're going to wrap it up. Thanks for everyone tuning in to the Black Aaron broadcast. Aaron Black, this was Barry Sutton. We're going to Flying Lotus this Sunday. It's going to be dope. And, you know, go like the page. Go find me on social media at Black Aaron. Yeah, we're a ghost.